Hi, I'm Sue Shipman, and my business is Optimum Balancing. For almost 8 years now, I have been providing neurofeedback here in Phoenix and the East Valley. And for people that aren't familiar with neurofeedback, it's a whole new world. It's not hard to understand. I'm going to give you just a short explanation. What I do is I place tiny electrodes on your scalp, and what they actually do is read the impulses of your brainwave frequencies. All of the brainwaves we have, they're all the same. The question is, how intense are those brainwaves in different parts of your brain, and how those patterns got set for activity that's not serving you. That's what I work with. So the process is very, very simple for the client. The assessment takes about an hour and 15 minutes, and what I'm doing is I'm getting a reading all over your brain of the activity in the state of closed eyes, open eyes, and then having your brain work on a task. The numbers that I get, the scientific readings from that activity and how your brain shifts, that's what tells me how it works. And I'm looking at the imbalances in that information. One of the things that I think is really powerful about neurofeedback, it is completely objective. There's no subjectivity to it. These are the numbers. This is what your brain is doing. There is no good or bad. We look at it, we determine where the imbalances are, and from there, we go to adjust it. Now, this is the really cool part of how it's accomplished. Again, I will put the electrodes on your scalp, depending on what the assessment tells me. And the feedback that you get is in direct response to what the electrodes are registering. What that means is, I've got the electrode here. It's registering the activity, going into the computer, and in a quarter of a second, you are getting a feedback tone that is telling your brain to either increase or decrease a specific activity in a specific part of your brain. And you say, okay, fine, that I can understand that, but what does it really do for me? What it does is allow your brain to create new neural net connections based on the brain achieving its own homeostasis, its own balance. We all have situations throughout our life that create responses that have our brain setting patterns of activity in direct response to those situations. The brain doesn't have any way to know that it's in a pattern that's not working for you. This gives it that feedback. Very simple, mostly tones, sometimes visual, but the brain, the part of the brain that is creating the energy to keep the patterns going, is what's getting the message and is going to shift for you. It's very passive for the client. I even have people that get so relaxed they completely fall asleep during the training, and that's fine because that just takes the cognitive thinking mind out of the way. But it doesn't matter if it's there. It's going to work anyway. I specialize in working with people with addictions and anxiety, and the response that I've seen is absolutely amazing. It's easy, it's natural, it's really been around for quite a while. The first usage of it goes back to the 1950s. Some people may want to continue to call it experimental, but it isn't. There's a lot of research out there that just tells you neurofeedback works, plain and simple. A component that I incorporate with the neurofeedback is what I call awareness coaching. I don't tell you what to expect. I ask you about the changes that you are experiencing. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I want you to become the observer of your own behavior. I don't want you to be the critic. I want you to be the observer. I don't want you to be the analyzer. I want you to be the observer. As you are observing what's changing in your behavior, that tells you more and more what has been out of balance. Obviously, you got a lot of things you know about, but maybe you didn't think that drinking 9 shots of espresso in the morning was unnatural until you quit doing it and realizing how much better you feel when you're not. The list goes on, whether it's excessive behavior or sugar or drugs or alcohol or carbs, it doesn't matter. The brain is going to start adjusting the things that are the most imbalanced. You're going to notice that. As you notice that, and I coach you through the process, these become tools that will take you throughout your life, because you will notice when things are off a little bit, when it starts to go down a road that's not beneficial for you. Now your awareness has become heightened. So I've said a lot, and what I offer anyone the opportunity to do, if you've got a genuine interest in this and you want to know how it can make your life better, call me. I'll be happy to set up an appointment. It'll take about 45 minutes. I'll explain this in person and give you an actual sample of the neurofeedback. And there's no cost or obligation for this. I love to have clients that are really informed to make a decision about how they're looking to change their life. Neurofeedback is a huge component for this.